Hi, I'm Soudy Khan, Director of User Experience at Neuron, and today I'm going to define user experience. So people often ask, what is user experience and what's UI and what's the different, what are these different terms? But let's talk about user experience itself. In short, and I think this is one of the best answers, user experience is the interaction a user has with a product or service. I think that's probably the best definition that's out there. It's very short and concise. Again, that's the interaction a user has with a product or service. Now, I take that a little further. If you're going to go into it a little deeper, I like to say that user experience is more than a font, an icon, a color, or even a specific set of screens or pages or an application design. Really, user experience from a strategic point of view is a culmination of all the touch points a user has with a branded product or service, and that each of these micro experiences creates an overall tone or feel. And when executed to perfection or near perfection, that tone and feel, and therefore the emotional response to the brand, is coherent, it's cohesive, and it reinforces the brand. It's a reflection of the brand, at one with the brand. And so that's the way I see user experience, again, especially because user experience is so tied at the hip with marketing. You know, a lot of the things that we think about as user experience designers and directors are things like personas, user journeys, and really that's all marketing. That's been around in marketing for years before user experience has been around. Second thing I'm going to say is that user experience is an umbrella term. It's kind of like saying I'm a medical doctor. Well, yeah, it's just like I'm a UXer or a user experience practitioner. But just like being a medical doctor, you know, once you graduate from medical school, you tend to specialize. So, you know, you might be an internal medicine doctor, a podiatrist, an OBGYN, a neurosurgeon. You could be any one of these specializations. So remember, it's an umbrella term. Next is it's nascent and it's high growth. It's nascent in that we've had user experiences going back thousands of years to architecture, and we've had it going back to film and theater 2,500 years ago, you know, theater with the Greek 2,500 years ago, which sort of led into modern film production. But our understanding, or the way we use user experience today, mostly with technology products, consumer products, is relatively nascent. You know, it wasn't that long ago that Bill Mogridge, one of the founders of IDEO, coined the term user interface. And when you have something that's nascent, you still have a lot of information that's in flux. And because it's a high growth market, you have a lot of thought leaders or people positioning themselves to be thought leaders, just like me, you know, guilty as charged. And then you hear a lot of sort of new terminology. And one thing I'd like to do is I'm going to do my best to stick to conventional terminology. I recently heard a consulting group, one of the largest consultancies in the world, in fact, talk about user experience as moments in time. And they created this whole presentation about moments in time and having moments in time. And I kept thinking to myself, isn't that just multitasking? And that's really what they were describing, saying that we have a moment to do this and a moment to that. And we have all these different moments in time. Well, that's just kind of, you know, the busy modern life, right? You're getting into the car and you're checking your email and you're doing all these different things at once. So you're multitasking. And again, I think it's best for practitioners of user experience to stick to the most conventional terms. Another thing, you know, talking a little bit more about these great brands and the companies that execute user experience across all these channels, all these touch points, they do it with a consistency and a cohesiveness that rings to a particular tone. And what I mean by that is, take Apple. I know it's a cliche example, but if you take Apple and you were to remove the Apple logo, the brand, it still has a consistent feel, and it has that feel that exudes Apple. Bang & Olufsen is another brand that has a Bang & Olufsen feel, and even though times have changed, technology's changed, industrial design overall has changed, it has remained relatively consistent or anchored in its core brand and its user experience since the 70s. And so, you know, brands like Rolex, Mini Cooper, Apple, Bang & Olufsen, they really do a good job of creating a user experience that's, again, consistent and cohesive and coherent through all these touch points. But in short, in summary, user experience is an umbrella term. It's nascent, it's high growth, and it's the interaction a user has with a product or service. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.